Start streaming. Start music. Eardrums off.
I thought it was gonna be the fart version.
No, we don't have the John Tush version of the round ball rock. I don't even know what it would be called. I mean, I feel like any kind of disgusting name I come up with, I don't even want to say it. So, why is this shit flop? Right. Let's turn this down. All right, here we go. I got the little widget there. Hopefully that shit works. Hopefully it reads, as they say in the biz. I don't even know if they actually say that. I might have just made that up. Do we have any word from Word Life?
No words.
No
Wordless.
All right. Wordless and lifeless. All right, here we go.
What was it?
Wait, so you said I'm slightly ahead?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. Has your game started yet? I'm 2-2, yeah. 11 minutes, 8 seconds.
So you are 13 to 14 seconds.
Okay. We got OG back.
Yeah, no. My prediction. Yeah, my prediction for that, he's gonna be on Siakam a lot and just kind of camp out on offense. With a 3.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Even the way he's moving, he looks like he's.
Yeah,
he's gingerly going up and down the court.
Yeah,
no explosive runs up and down the court for OG. Which I just hope that doesn't impact his effectiveness, right? Because, like, if he's going to be out there but he can't do all the things and properly, like... Because the problem is, unfortunately, like... And I don't mean this as a disrespect to him, but he's not super skilled. Like, that's not his game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well,
like, his physical abilities is largely part of what makes him a good basketball player, so...
But in terms of like,
but shooting, he should be able to do that.
That's what I'm saying. The shooting and the post. You know, when Siakam's trying to back down, I think that's just because I mean, you know, God bless his soul, but I mean,
oh wow, God bless his soul.
But Josh Hart, I mean, no, because I mean his soul. You know, you're talking about Josh Hart, but
his heart.
But it's just he's just. It's just too much, you know. It's just too much mass.
All right, we got audio is working on the stream. I want to see if this shit is. The problem, this shit don't be updating. I have this shit here. There we go. Hopefully this shit keeps updating. All right, so I think, man. I got the Knicks. Like, I bet the Knicks. So,
ooh,
I feel like I'll know early on if it's their day or not.
I think what OG is doing is more of a guarding. He's being tight because he's not trying to let it loose yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I hope so. Because if he's still moving this way in the fourth quarter, he really looks like he's like 3/4 striding. At least, I mean, Hart looks like he's pretty, you know, moving up and down.
Oh no,
good. He looks like he's moving all right.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's just so much, and like these dudes, there's nothing like. There's just like nothing left. There's like bare bones, you know?
Yeah, well, honestly, that was part of the reason why I was hoping and thinking that they were going to try to go real hard to close it out in game 6 to not, A, to not have to face a game 7, and B, to give themselves the best chance against Boston, because every extra day that Boston gets to rest, every extra day that because they've already announced that this guy Porzingis should be out for games 1 and 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. But like they announced that I think before game 6 of this series. So who knows? Like with this, maybe that might. I don't even know how you can make an announcement like that when you don't know when the series is going to start. You know what I'm saying? Like how can you say that he's out for games 1 and 2 if you don't know when games 1 and 2 are going to be? But
Yeah.
I mean that was what they said. But like if this shit ends up getting pushed back, if his the series start gets pushed back because of the game 7, that's more of a chance that Porzingis maybe he's available game 2. I don't know. And just that they'll have played an extra game. And it's kind of weird that, like, the way that they've kind of leapfrogged the series, the games between the West and the East, because, like, Denver, Minnesota game 6 was Thursday. This game 6 was Friday. And then, so they play
weirdly
they play the second game 6, yet the first game 7. But at the same time, I think they played the first game 5 and the second game 6. Like they did a leapfrog there too.
I think because the thing with the Indiana Fever.
Well, yeah, that was a big part of it. Yeah, that they had to move that. But honestly, man, the fact that they're not, I mean, I'm gonna be fair to the WNBA, but I just feel like a lot of these logistical things could have been anticipated, and they probably should have planned. Like I feel like trying to move games because of Caitlin Clark and tickets and availability and all that. Trying to move these games now, like a week or two before the game is set to be played. I feel like WNBA knew that this was going to be a big season for them. Like. They knew this was going to be a big season for them.
It built up. There was a lot of build-up.
They knew this was going to be a big season for them since the women's championship game last year when Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark was going at it. Like, they could have foresaw this a whole year ahead. Not to say that they're going to, move venues and all that shit a year ahead, but it's not like this shit just crept up on them that there's going to be some increased popularity and logistical concerns. So, like, I know that they moved one of the Atlanta Dream games, and I'm just like, them doing that shit like last minute, whatever.
Yeah, it just looks sloppy. Like it looks like small townish.
You know what looks like small townish too? Having the Seattle Storm play the Minnesota Lynx on Friday night.
I saw that.
You saw what? The game?
I'm assuming that this is unless this is another thing, but they were playing and you can see the shadows under them.
No, that's not even what I was going to talk about. I didn't see that.
Like it looked.
I was just going to talk about scheduling logistics.
Oh, okay.
They play a double overtime game Friday. They're playing today Washington Mystics at 3, playing tomorrow the Liberty. And like their team is they're already missing 2 players for today. Their team is already getting banged up, and I don't know. But what can you do?
But no, there was a
all I know is it
game.
made the betting easier for me, so I guess I can't complain.
The WNBA game that they were showing highlights I saw online, and there were literally like the shadows of the players.
Well, that's another thing that you're gonna I want to see them really. It's tough. Again, I don't want to be too hard on the league or anything like that, but it's just like I want to see them up the production quality, because there's still some games that it almost has like an MLS feel to it. Like, you know how like some of these MLS games we played in stadiums that are not built for soccer, so like just the television product looks weird. Like the sight
Yeah, because
lines
they
are
have to get the angles.
strange. Yeah, the angles are bizarre. They're like, I was watching the day after the season started. I forget what game I was watching, but I was watching it, and it looked like, it reminded me of when I'm watching one of these like late night Long Beach State, college
Mm,
games that, it's like some low budget college, and it's like a two camera production.
yeah,
And I was
like
kind
the
of like, it
NFL, like
was,
the NFL back in the day.
yeah, like it literally looked like it was a two camera deal. Like they had the main wide shot, and it looked like they had maybe one camera on either baseline, and those were the angles you were getting. Like it felt like a very limited broadcast. And I'm like, hopefully this is something that gets improved upon quickly, because in a moment like now when they're trying to increase the popularity, you don't want to be having, substandard television
Yeah,
product.
because that does turn off people. Like as stupid
Yeah,
as it
it turns
sounds.
off people, and especially, that motherfuckers are looking for a reason to be turned off. So you don't want to give
Exactly.
them something, something that could basically be avoided very simply, with.
Mm.
All right, here we go, Brunson. Oh, come on. You got to get back on D. Is this updating? Nice. Good. It is updating. Perfect. Damn, this shit is ahead of me.
What?
The score on the YouTube stream is ahead of
Mm-mm.
what I'm watching.
Mm.
You know what, the one thing I was thinking, and I know this is gonna sound, I guess it's easy for me to say as someone who, doesn't have a wife and kids, but like, if I was in, maybe not today, because obviously they're facing a game 7, but kind of like a couple of weeks ago, in the maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I would say, and like the
Mm.
absolute apex, like maybe like let's say right after they won Game 6 against the Sixers, the Knicks, I would
Mm.
say that was up to this point peak Knicks popularity and love, right? And I'm like, yo, because I remember Josh Hart saying something about him, like that his he has a young kid at home keeping him awake or some shit like that. I was thinking
Mm.
to myself, do you know what it must be like to be a single Knicks player in that moment right there? Like,
Mm.
after in that height of Knicks popularity, winning Game 6, to be, if Josh Hart could leave his family and just enjoy, just soak it in. Like, I feel like I would be like, yo, listen, I'm gonna need like a little, I'm gonna need like a little, maybe 4 to 6 week divorce real quick.
Mm.
I don't know when I'm gonna have this moment again. And you only live once, so
Mm.
here's a nice stack. Take care of the family. I'm gonna go enjoy and have my
Mm.
fun, because
Yeah.
I mean, what Josh Hart specifically could do, the damage he could do as a single man at the height of Josh Hart mania. It's almost like, a dwarfed version of Linsanity. But I feel like Linsanity was almost too big. You know what I mean? Like he's in
Mm.
the perfect sweet spot. Like, I can't imagine. It's funny because we were having that conversation the other day. You brought up about being a NBA player, which city, where would you, what are the optimal, most desirable places to go? And I'm like, yo, being a guy like Josh Hart, who really gets all the kind of benefits and none of the pressure, like he
Mm.
has kind of like the best of both worlds in a lot of ways, to be him at the height of Knicks love and like how we were talking about before about how this Knicks team specifically has like kind of the luxury of not having expectations. So even if they were to lose this game 7, obviously people would be very disappointed, but it's not going to be like if they were like the Suns with a, super team and high expectations, and people are going to be like, you failed. Like they're in almost like a little bit of, I don't want to say can't lose, but to a certain degree, like to be someone like a Josh Hart or I don't know. Is Jalen Brunson married? I don't think.
I don't know.
I feel like he's not. I feel like he's, or if he is, I feel like he doesn't come across as a guy with kids. That's for sure.
Especially with that stamina.
Exactly. I mean, maybe he does, but I've never heard any reference to them. I know Josh Hart has referenced having kids, but imagine DiVincenzo. Oh my God.
Going 48 minutes.
Crushing it, living the dream, living the life.
Did you see that scuffle or whatever? Why is like enough with James Johnson? Like he's like the official like tough guy mascot for the Pacers. He just wanders around anytime somebody gets like there's anything chippy, and he like the camera's on him like he's some like he's gonna go settle this up.
Well,
like I know he's a tough guy, but what I'm saying is like it's like a caricature. Like, all right, we need our big brother.
Yeah, he's their Rempe.
Yeah, but he doesn't even play though. At least Rempe every once in a while plays. Every once in a while.
For hockey, he's the equivalent of a Rempe.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. Countdown. Game 1 Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Conference Finals. Oh, they're challenging it?
What?
Oh, yeah, no, that's not a foul. That's clean. There's no way they could call that a foul. I got my Siakam give Hartenstein a little shove. I got Siakam points over though.
Yeah.
Just because I know Siakam is trying to I feel like he's trying to secure that max deal this offseason. He's eligible for a max this offseason. Truth be told, whatever happens in this game, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I feel like given the fact that the Pacers made that transaction to get him, they kind of have to give him the deal. Similar to the OG Anunoby situation with the Knicks.
Pascal Siakam is such a max Indiana, like max player on a small market team.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I feel like if you're Siakam, you have to have that somewhere in the back of your mind. Like I know this since the beginning of the season, going into the season, he knew that this was going to be his free agent summer, and whatever ends up happening with his career this year, he was going to, I feel like there's a little extra added motivation. So I'm like going into this game, I feel like he probably feels a little bit of that added pressure, because essentially they traded for him to win this game, to get them over the hump. You know what I mean? Like if they were gonna go out in the second round, they could have done that with the squad they had coming into the season. They could have done that without the Siakam trade.
What did they give up for?
I think it was a 3-team, because that was how Buddy Hield ended up with the Sixers. It was a complicated type joint.
That was at the deadline, right?
Yeah, it was. Oh shit. Hartenstein. No, he was all right though. Yeah, who the hell did they send up there? I don't remember. because I think it was actually a multi-team deal, because I think that was how a lot of people. It was just funny because the Raptors were so very clearly and obviously tanking, trying to get trying to lose as many games as possible. So they were taking back pretty much anything for whoever they were trading.
Tanking tanking in this draft is some nasty work though.
Yeah, and truth be told, I don't even know the NBA is really it's hard to follow what teams have whose picks and what year, and because they do so much
crazy.
wheeling and dealing. There's so many teams that, like, they'll trade away their like, I know, like the Nets, they traded away they have none of their own first round picks for like the next 10 years.
But then
I mean, obviously that's an exaggeration. But then they trade away guys to get picks back from the other teams. So you'd be like, oh, they have a first-round pick, but it's not their first-round pick. It's really the Pistons' first-round pick. It's very, very hard to keep up with. And then when you add to that the fact that there's the lottery, it's like none of these slots are guaranteed anyway. So,
exactly.
I mean, look, the fucking Hawks end up with the #1 pick when I forget where they were slotted in terms of the ping pong balls, but I saw that it was I think it was like the biggest long shot in the lottery era to get the first round pick, or to get the #1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I forget what their chances were supposed to be to get the #1 overall pick, but I think it was like 3% or some shit like that. I think they were slotted like 7th or 8th.
How are they officiating? They're like, it's going to be a weirdly officiated game.
Well, I mean, Pacers on an 8-0 run. Yo, I'm starting to hate Tyrese Halliburton.
He's so corny.
He's so corny, and he's like, oh God, he's just like
such a nerd.
For someone
who knows how to play basketball.
Yeah, and for someone who is so clearly not that guy, don't act like that guy.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to be tough. Don't try to, like, you're not tough. You're not Mr. like, you're not even like a primary scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't conduct himself on the basketball court in a way that would suggest, like, I'm the man, or I think I'm the man. But
it's like I don't know like what tough player to compare him to, but it's like
James
that
Johnson.
Steph Curry. Well, yeah. Steph Curry with Steph Curry if what's his brother's name?
Seth.
Yeah, Steph Curry with if Seth Curry was James Johnson.
I wonder if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't. Tyrese and Halliburton don't really go together.
Yeah,
it's a weird first last name combo. I don't know, man. I don't like those. I don't like this start that the Knicks are off to. I got to tell you.
Yeah, I gotta see them settle. I gotta see them settle in.
I thought about betting Knicks first quarter, but I was like, these first quarters can be tricky, man. The Knicks themselves can be tricky.
Yeah, that's why it's almost like
one. Hopefully, there's a fight.
Yeah, man. I need this. This whole team is just fake. Like, even TJ McConnell, he's like the get your nose in the grindstone like type of tough guy, but he's like a Duke type of tough guy where he's slamming on the floor when he's playing defense. Like that
type of hasn't he been in the league for like 25 years?
He's 32.
He's been in the league for 32 years. That's what it feels like. It feels like he's been in the league forever. Like,
no, it's just that I think it was the
It
76ers.
feels like he's
Actually.
been on. It feels like he's been on the Pacers bench since fucking Rick Smits. That's what it feels like to me.
Mhm.
Feels like he was like he played with Reggie Miller. He was like backing up. He went from backing up Reggie Miller to now
That's
backing up.
just the type of white player that the Indiana Pacers always have on their
Yeah,
squad.
always.
But even the way like he flails around, he has such annoying movement skills.
Yeah. Oh man, this is a rough end to the first quarter.
Jesus Christ.
I got a couple of intense parlays going too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even checked in on them because I, I I know that just the way that this game has played out, I'm sure they're not doing well, just based off of
Mm. Mm.
the props that I took.
Sure needs to keep his head on the swivel, man.
Is that little corner of former Knicks makes me laugh under the basket where you guys, I think Spreewell is there. I think Starks is there.
Starks
Like they
looks like Starks looks like every dad.
Yo, yeah, he does. He's such a basketball dad. Like even his like
His
his
clap,
outfit that he wears to the games. His clap. He has the perfect basketball dad clap, and
like
he's
it's the
like
perfect
he
distance away
is
from
the
his body.
basketball dad startup kit. That's what he is. Yo, Dante DiVincenzo missing free throws. That's another thing, man. The Knicks have missed so many free
Oh
throws.
my
My
God.
God.
Yeah, man. Did you see that I forgot to mention that when that foul, um the foul that they overturned.
Yeah.
Is it me? Like I had the sound off um yesterday, but didn't they not overturn that same exact thing last night on a three? Like,
Um. Last night.
yeah, it was I forget who shot the three. Was it I think it was who's that dude that's putting in a lot of work right now for the
PJ
Mavericks?
Washington.
PJ Washington. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like he got fouled on a three, and they didn't overturn it, but they challenged it for that same exact thing because when I forget who went for the defense on OKC, they actually it looked like he hit the ball first.
I didn't see that. I was watching mostly WNBA yesterday. I had
Mm.
I was splitting the screens, but I was more focused on the WNBA games. I I, I kind of the Mavs Thunder series was a good series, but for whatever reason it just didn't do it for me. Like
Yeah,
I couldn't find a reason to care about who wins coming out of there.
but isn't your guy Luca though?
See, that's the problem, and I have kind of checked out of any kind of rooting interest in Luca ever since Kyrie went to Dallas.
Hmm.
Because I I don't I don't have any expectation for that to be a good thing, and even if it is a good thing, I don't
You'd
know.
rather not have good things
It
for
doesn't
him.
get me excited. I can't get excited about it.
I don't. I do not get how he has such a swarm of freaking just like Irvinites, like the like people who are oh like I get it, man. He's good, but he's I don't know what's so like I don't get it. He's not to me. It's he's so unlikable. Like I don't see any of the things like when you like a player, like what the attractiveness to him, like having so many stands would be.
I mean, I see it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not one that is down with that. I'm not. I don't. I don't subscribe to it, but I see why. It's
Yeah.
it's similar to the Rodgers thing. I mean, just ask Cheeks. He could tell you he's the perfect candidate to
Yeah, no,
explain.
but I feel like that kind of explains it almost.
What do you mean?
No, like that type of, like that type of that's the mentality that kind of explains it to me. Like you saw with him with like with OJ Simpson. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's like that type of like middle finger to
Yeah,
whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is.
yeah. It's just you know, speaking to the asshole in us all. Like we
Mm.
all have a little bit of an asshole in us, and like the person who kind of is, embraces the asshole role, and people who embrace their inner asshole, they look at them and they're like, yeah, you see, like this is how they treat us. Like
Yeah.
that's how I feel like it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I understood that, but I meant like it makes perfect sense. But I was looking at it more like just like his whole look, like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Even on the court, it's like when he was always doing some dumb stuff, like like he was in Boston and obviously in Brooklyn, in Cleveland. It's always like something's always up with him. You know what I'm saying?
you know what the funny
Like
thing
he,
is that I wonder if any of the his acolytes. I wonder if any of them are from any of the fan bases of teams that he's been on. Because I feel like
mm,
if you care about a team and he's been on the team, you won't be a fan of his.
yeah,
You
that's
know what I
true.
mean? I feel like I don't think that there's any Cavs fan. I think Cavs fans probably have love for him just for for making that one shot and getting them that championship. Um, but I'm sure he doesn't have any fans in Boston. I doubt he. I think he may have some fan. I think he has fans in Brooklyn, but no Nets fans.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
anybody who
perfect.
was a
That
Nets
makes perfect
fan
sense.
is not a fan of his, but I'm sure he has people who are fans in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I can't. I find it very difficult to root for the guy. That's why once he was traded to the Mavs, I immediately was like, okay, I don't really. It's gonna be hard for me to root for the Mavs now. And then I was like,
Mhm.
I honestly was surprised that he stayed there as long as he has. I just kind of assumed when he was there that it was just gonna be like
A pit stop.
yeah, exactly. I thought it was gonna be like a little pit stop. He was gonna make some kind of a mess and force his way. I just assumed he was inevitably gonna be moving to the Lakers,
Hmm.
which obviously, I mean, I guess it's still a possibility, but that's the thing that sucks about having a guy like that and rooting for a guy like that, because it's like I'm sure there were Nets fans that when he and KD signed that were all fucking fired up about it. And, next thing you know, the team is destroyed. The same way that it was in Boston. And I wouldn't, like, if they were to, like, I think he's the perfect example of when things are going well, things are going well. Because, like, had they somehow collapsed and lost games 6 and 7 to Oklahoma City, would it be shocking to hear coming out in the media shortly after that, Kyrie's frustrated, he wants out or something like that? He's having issues with
Hmm.
Luca or whatever they care, having issues with the coach, Jason Kidd. Like even when things are good, it just feels like there can always be some bullshit foolishness around the corner with this guy. Like I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if
it's always
whoever
on
goes to
deck.
the, yeah, it's like whoever goes to the Western Conference Finals and faces the Mavs, if things don't go well for the Mavs in that series, would I be shocked to hear how Kyrie wants out or he has a problem or whatever? No.
Yes.
I did see a
Oh,
headline that I don't know how legitimate it was, but I saw a headline that the Mavs are considering drafting Bronny James.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
I don't know
great.
what to make of that, but
With Kyrie Irving, it's like he steps in up to the batter's plate, and in the on deck circle, tomfoolery.
yeah. Exactly. I heard it was 700 to get into the Garden today.
Really?
Yeah, 700 was the
I saw that there was a ticket for fifty
standing room
thousand
only.
dollars.
Fifty
Standing room
thou?
on it? Yeah, courtside.
That cheap. I'm surprised that you could even buy a courtside ticket to
It was
this.
one ticket.
Yeah.
Like it had to be somebody who just like,
Oh, terrible DiVincenzo, my God.
yeah, DiVincenzo has one or two of those in him every game. But I mean, that like,
The other thing is like right now, calling a timeout. The thing is like right even the five they have on the court right now. I mean the Knicks, Burks, McBride, Achua, DiVincenzo, and Hartenstein. I mean, my God,
yeah,
that is. I
that
mean, I
is
hate
a
to
that
say it because they've these are all guys who have been contributors to this Knicks run, but
yeah contributes.
that does not sound like a team that is headed to the Eastern Conference Finals. That that five.
That seems like a team that we would have seen when I was getting the good tickets to go to the Knicks games.
Yeah, word.
Like,
Yeah, that's
what are you
just a
doing?
rebuild right there. That sounds like a rebuild. Now this Bad Boys Ride or Die, is this the fourth one?
I was so confused. I was literally I felt like an idiot. I was telling somebody that there was five because I thought that this one was the fifth because of the one that took so long, but it's been a long enough time since that they were doing that one, but that was only three.
Okay, so but this one that's coming out now is four. Because
I'm
I
still
feel like
confused.
three
And I
and
looked it up.
four. I mean, even two. How far out? Let me look at this up. 'Cause I
That's what
feel
I'm
like
saying. I
two
looked it
came
up.
out.
I looked it up. I looked it up and I still don't remember
I feel
because
like
it's so
two came
confusing.
out like 10 years after one, and then three came out 10 years
Like
after
20 years.
two. But all yeah, but it came out 10 years. It started filming 10 years after two, but then came out 10 years after that.
Yeah.
Because that's the
Like
other thing is that
Larry.
they've announced these movies and they fucking. Oh,
They
this is out
disappear.
now. Is it? No,
Is
I
it?
don't know.
Yo, the whole shit
How
is
the fuck are
confusing.
they selling? This shit is mad confusing. They're selling tickets for this shit now, and it comes out June 7th. I mean,
Well, I
it's not
bought
that
tickets.
far
I bought
away.
tickets for a movie, Inside Out 2. I bought the tickets for June 13 or 14, something like that.
What is Inside Out 2? Is that a kids movie?
Pigs. No, it's yeah, I guess technically, but it's a Pixar movie. It's a Pixar movie, which came out. I want to say how many years? Maybe 10 years ago. Inside
So
Out one.
Bad Boys 1 came out in 95. My God. That's the other thing I was thinking about while I'm watching the trailer for Bad Boys, whatever it is, Bad Boys Revenge. I don't fucking know, but the newer one that's coming out. I was watching the trailer for that shit, and I'm looking at Martin, and I'm like, man,
Martin.
he almost looks like a different guy, cause like I feel like when I think of Martin Lawrence, obviously he has the iconic "You So Crazy" stand up.
Hmm.
And I feel like a young person who was to see these like the last two Bad Boys movies, and then were to go back and watch that stand up, would not even know it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, he's so much fatter, but
Yeah, because he looks like
that
the Tracy
happens.
Morgan the Tracy Morgan version of
Yes.
Tracy Morgan version of Martin Lawrence.
Yes, exactly. And like even the comedy that he does now is like he like I remember in the trailer, like, there's this one part where he, like, something about the jelly bean, oh, that black jelly bean, or whatever the fuck he says, and I'm like, he's like a yelling, like, his joke is that he's always yelling now, like, that's what he's become. He's been, like, reduced to just like he's like the Mad Dog Russo of, like, fucking black comedians in movies. It's mad weird. Like, all he
Like
does
just
is that's
yelling
his
dynamite.
joke. Yeah. And yo, I felt like such an idiot. I was watching this. Yo, the Knicks are playing terrible defense, man. That's what I'm taking away from this beginning. The niggas are down 22. That's not a good look. But there's just no defense. I mean, if you knew the offense is gonna struggle, but damn, those Knicks fans look miserable right now in the crowd.
But I don't get, man. They just it's such a weird, like they brought on like three crew what was it I forget what the name is, the head officials from three separate crews to ref to like ref these games, and I don't see like what they're doing, because I feel like they're allowing a lot of physicality, but I guess maybe the Knicks aren't playing physical enough on the defensive end. But that, I don't know if that's because of the way that the last game was officiated.
Well, if that's the case, then shame on them. Because to me, if you're the Knicks players going into a game 7 at home, you gotta force the refs to blow the whistle. Like, I'm gonna foul, you can blow the whistle. Like, I'm gonna force you to kind of gauge and see how this game is gonna be called. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna not play aggressive on defense because of whatever happened in Game 6 in Indiana. Like, fuck that. Like, at home, Game 7, I'm going into it assuming they're gonna let us play, and that I'm gonna, get the benefit of the doubt with the whistle at home in a Game 7. And if you're gonna call the foul, I'm gonna make you call the foul. I'm gonna make you call it a bunch of times until you can't call it no more. You know what I mean? There's a way to put the pressure on the refs, especially if you're somebody like, essential to the Knicks. Like, if you're Hartenstein or Josh Hart, like, I'm gonna force the refs to either blow this whistle or you're gonna have to swallow the whistle. But I'm not gonna play soft on D at home in a Game 7 because I'm scared of that they're gonna make some calls. Like, no way.
It's funny, like the Indiana Pacers are so weird because it just seems like their top 8, besides Halliburton, their top 8 are like just the same level of mid, all of them. But like a good, like a decent, like like not like they have 7 good role players that you can.
Yeah, there's nothing special about anybody.
Yeah.
And they all seem to kind of have. They almost play. They're almost like a WNBA team, because like there's WNBA teams that. Like, it's funny because I'm still familiarizing myself with some of the WNBA rosters since the draft.
Yeah.
And like to try to figure out what kind of betting angles I'm gonna go with, and
Hmm.
I'm scanning these rosters, and it just makes me laugh how like because specifically with WNBA, I'm always looking for edges position wise when it comes to like rebounding because there's such a at least from what I've noticed, such a disparity in terms of the rebounding and in terms of like with the WNBA, like the bigs are the bigs. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like in a way that it doesn't really happen in the NBA. Like there's a few teams in the NBA. Like for instance, when you go on the West Coast right now, Denver, Minnesota, pretty much every game you know who's going to be the lead rebounder for Denver and for Minnesota. It's always going to
Hmm.
be Gobert and Jokic. But for the most part, outside of that, you don't really have that. Doesn't necessarily exist um, on every team in the NBA. Like you have a lot of teams that it's almost like a rebounding by committee type of thing.
Hmm.
But in the WNBA, I feel like oh shit, I feel like you have there are more traditional bigs.
Hmm.
But I was looking at I forget whose roster I was looking at, and I'm looking at the players. I'm scanning, and they have positions, and it's just guard, 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 and I'm
Hmm.
like, oh wow, they don't have a big. And for
Yeah.
WNBA, that I felt like that was a little bit unusual, but I feel like that's how the Pacers are trying to play. They're playing a little bit of
Hmm.
a, I mean, like their center is Miles Turner, who's averaging like 4 rebounds a game in this series, and really averages like 5 to 6 rebounds a game for the season. And like when your leading rebounder averages 6 rebounds a game, that's an interesting way to play basketball.
Hmm. And I mean,
Halliburton.
I guess that's why it works with a team that's like I think one of the number one on the Knicks to-do list has to be getting a little bit athletically big.
Yeah, it's funny that you mention that because I'm surprised that they haven't found more use for Jericho Sims because I feel like he should be that guy. He should be there, kind of like almost like what Derek Lively has been for the Mavs in terms of like that young, athletic kind of can jump out the gym, can grab some boards, catch some lobs, block some shots, but can play with pace. Can defend bigger guys, but can also get out and contest threes. Like Sims, just from a frame standpoint, you would think should be that guy, but
The thing,
I don't know if he doesn't get on the court because he's not that guy, or if he's not that guy
the
because he doesn't get on the
no,
court.
the thing with Sims, it's similar to what Mitchell Robinson was when he first got to the Knicks, like when he obviously when he first got drafted. He's big and with the big shoulders that he always has and everything like that. But he's not confident in what he's doing. He's not confident in what he's doing, so he moves clunky. Everything he does, it's like a tick too late. So it's like like his brain isn't moving fast enough to tell his big ass body what to do efficiently enough yet. Like it takes too long for his brain signals to get to his body to tell him what to do because they're like like Doofy. They
Yeah.
have all the skills, but they don't know how to use them yet. So hopefully some of that kind of gets because that came along with, and to a certain extent, Mitchell Robinson still is a little bit tight upper body, like the way he moves his upper body and like getting his hands up and everything like that, and his shoulders. They just, like it's still that, but he's gotten a lot better. I mean, obviously he was hurt and stuff like that, so that's a little bit, it could be a little bit unfair, but just his movement skills need to improve. Like the way he does everything needs to like he has to work on his footwork And
Well, I
like,
mean, he needs to work on going to fucking Foot Locker and buying a pair of high tops and not be playing in Nike SBs because that
well,
shit,
no, no,
that shit does
yeah,
not
no,
work.
I was talking about Jericho Sims still,
Oh, okay.
but Mitchell Robinson has to get the highest high tops. He needs to go and get. Remember when like Beyonce, they were doing those Nike Beyonce joints that went up like up to the knees. He needs to have those with like the gladiator, like a gladiator
Be playing in
shoelaces.
cowboy boots. Yo, I'm picturing Mitchell Robinson running up and down the court in cowboy boots and like a
He
cowboy
needs
hat.
to Mitchell Robinson needs to wear the like the shredder shoes, the joints that have the whole shin,
Oh,
you know,
word,
it
yeah.
has the whole shin joint that goes all the way to the knee.
Hell yeah. Alec Burks having a reunion with the Knicks. It's funny because Knicks
The
fans never
Pacers have
liked
missed
Alec
six
Burks.
shots.
Yo,
The
Alex
Pacers have
Burks scored the last 8 New York Knicks points.
yeah, that's crazy.
I can't trust a black Alec. I can't trust a non-white Alec because I felt like
I
this same thing with Manoa with the Blue Jays. I knew his career was gonna go up in flames just when I learned that his name was Alec and not Alex.
um it's fair. I think Alec Burks' first mistake, I like when he was first on the Knicks. The reason he was so bad was because he wore the plainest black shoes with either with just plain white socks, and at least now he has different better sneakers on. So I think that's why he's playing a little bit better. Damn it,
Yeah,
man.
it's weird because I was gonna say he's surprisingly old, but it's not that surprising. He just has I feel like he has a weird place in the NBA right now. Like
Yeah.
this, you don't get a lot of these like. I don't know that there's still the early to mid 30s microwave guy off the bench. I feel like everybody's
Mhm.
sixth man microwave, quick couple of possessions of offense guy, six man type guy is usually younger guys like
Mhm.
a Malik Monk or like even Tyler Hero. Like Burks is like he's like 10 years removed from he's playing a role that of a man 10 years younger right now.
Mhm. He's he is funny to look at.
Look at him, and there he goes down and one. Burks, he about to be the hero right now. But yo, they can't get a stop, man. But what are they gonna do? Give up 75 points in the first half? This is crazy. Is this the Thibodeau team or what?
Uh,
Like no matter what they do, no matter what they find ways to get buckets on offense, if they're gonna give up 75 points in the first half, they have no shot to win this game.
yeah, because you don't have players available that can get up to that amount of points.
And they're just giving up so many transition layups, man. Like just giving up easy baskets. Another layup. And one. Terrible. Like the Pacers are getting a ton of points in the paint, man. Like this dude Hartenstein, man, he needs to be a little bit more of a rim protection.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And what the hell happened to Achua, man? Wasn't he at one point a decent defender?
Yeah, at some point this year, I just don't. I don't understand what's going on with you.
Like there was a point during this season, but that's why the fucking regular season shit just does not translate to postseason because like there was a good stretch in the middle of the season where like Achua had like a 15 game stretch where he was starting for the Knicks and averaging like 12 and 8.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker can't do shit right now. He can't do anything on offense or defense. I hate to say it. If the Pacers win this game, it's going to be such a not compelling Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah. Like look at how they're reffing Jalen Brunson, man. If he hadn't fallen on that, they weren't going to call a foul.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. But Brunson, as great as he's been, this is another reason why they just need another guy who can generate offense on his own. Because if the only guy you have who is going to be able to generate offense is A, undersized, and B, also is very reliant on drawing fouls, you're just leaving yourself open to so much variance in how a game is going to go. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a second bucket on the team, if the game is, if they're kind of letting them play and Brunson's not getting the and ones and the pump fake fouls that he's accustomed to getting, you still have another source of some type of offense. That's why they're turning to Alec Burks, but Alex Burks can't defend.
There go. Did you see that weak ass point with
Look
Halliburton
at another
again?
fucking transition basket. This is crazy. Oh, Achua with a block. Achua finds some defense there. Halliburton.
I'm gonna head out in a couple minutes. I got my kids in here with me. They've been good the whole time. They've been in here the whole time and they've been good. They haven't made noise, but
I don't know. I feel bad. I've been cursing.
No. They can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
But Braden wants me to show you this that we made. This table. Hold on. With
Oh, that glass? That's hard.
It's
How'd you make that?
Yeah. You glue all the cards on. Have you do you know about the epoxy? Whatever?
No, what's that?
It's like this substance that's almost like glass, where you mix it together, and it's so strange because I've used it before. I've used it for a couple.
Wait, so
things,
that's
but
not
then,
glass?
No. It's almost like it's almost as a substance that's it's almost like I want to say plexiglass. That's so it's like glass, but it's sticky. So on a table, yeah, there you go. So on a table, it's nice because it like I put my laptop or my cup on there, and it's sticky. It's not sticky like where your hand is sticky, but like it has some tack to it, so nothing slides off of it.
Oh, that's hard.
And
that sounds sick.
So you mix it together, and depending, like some are color, you could do it with colors, and this is like a gray, so you could still see under it. But we put the cards down. I got this card. Yeah, I gotta show you this. Hold on, let's see. See that one right there?
Is that Guy Fieri? Who is that?
That's Stugatza's Guy Fieri.
Oh, it is? That's hard. That's fire.
But it's crazy. It's two parts. You mix it together. And I had some leftovers. I put it into this skull thing, like a skull mason jar to give it color because it was empty. And like about a few minutes after, I grabbed it to move it. And it gets hot. Like the reaction, it was like literally hot to the touch.
Shit.
So I guess that's the reaction it causes. It just heats up and just kind of like freezes in about not freeze, but like hardens up in about a day. So it's pretty dope.
That sounds sick. How much does that cost?
I don't know. There's a lot of different shit. Like I found that at Home Depot and I just mess around with it. like as it was on clearance. That it was gray. Usually you get it clear, but you can add color to it.
Yeah.
But you can do a lot of dope shit with that.
Yeah, that sounds fire.
All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna head
before I
out of
forget,
here.
I wanted to ask
Go
you.
ahead.
I'm gonna send you a link. I'm doing a fantasy WNBA. I mean, it's not for
Fantasy
money
W.
or anything, but just to give me a reason to kind of know a little bit about all the players and shit. Just in case you want to join.
All right, send me the link.
All right.
I'll Google all the players. Go based on their profile pic.
It's pretty, to be honest with you, the good thing about WNBAs is there's not that many teams.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you just look at the like cuz I did so I made a league and then I was going to send you the link, but then I forgot. And then I got an email from ESPN saying, "Hey, you forgot to finish setting up your league or whatever." So then I was just like, "All right, I don't feel like, I think it was like a 4-person minimum league, and I was like, I don't feel like sending out invites right now. I'm just gonna join like one of these rando leagues." So I joined this random like league with strangers, just so that I could do a draft. And I'm doing the draft, and I'm like, I don't need to know anything about the WNBA to do this draft. It's like the players are right there. Like I kind of recognize some of the names, and I'm just like, there's not really that many players. The draft took like 10 minutes. It's so fast.
Yeah.
Like there's not that many players, and like once you've made your first, 4 picks, nothing else really matters anyway. So I was like, this is pretty easy. It's readily set up for the unaffiliated, I guess.
Yeah, to get you like a little taste.
Yeah. All right, man. Hopefully the Knicks can fucking pull it together second half. I don't even want to hear what this clown Stephen A. Smith has to say about
Yeah, oh God.
because he's like I can't listen to.
Yeah.
I don't know why they keep trotting him out there, but
Yeah. He's like, do the thing, do the thing. Do you remember that episode? I don't know, like how much you remember The Simpsons, but there was a episode of The Simpsons where like Bart got famous because he said I didn't do it, and he was the I didn't do it guy. And then at the end, they took him to like the Krusty show, and he came out and he said I didn't do it, and nobody was laughing because it was so old and played out already. I want to know when Stephen A. Smith gets to that point.
yeah, I feel like he's gotten to that point already. It's funny because
Yeah.
they keep making this whole thing about ESPN so badly wants to have a pregame and halftime show that's like the TNT, but they can't figure out a way. I'm like, the reason they
figure
can't
out
figure out
a way to get Stephen A. Smith off the show.
exactly. Like, yo, if Barkley was doing a million shows and podcasts and had a daily show, if you heard from Charles Barkley 10 hours a day, that show would lose tons of juice. Like, the TNT show would not be interesting anymore if the main character on there was so oversaturated.
Yeah, that's
his
like
voice
Green.
was
That's
so
Greeny's the
overdone.
same exact thing,
Yeah, exactly. Like, they just
yo.
take the same people and just trot them out for everything.
bro. I thought the same thing. They have Bob Wischusen and Jeff Darlington covering the PGA Championship.
Wow.
Like, at what point is like, yo, dog? Like,
Oh my God, yo! Before I forget, Christopher Mad Dog Russo had the craziest, I think his worst take ever on the whole Scotty Scheffler thing. It was amazing.
what was it?
I mean, he was so indignant about how this guy's never done anything wrong. The cop was
What does
out
that
of
have to do with
line.
anything?
It had, not only
he
did-
wasn't
what does
there.
not only what does that have to do with anything. If he would have done something wrong, he wouldn't have played so well. Look at how he
Oh my God.
played. Yo, it was the whole and the whole show, caller after caller battling with him, and he would not come down off of this horrendous take. And I mean, it was great radio. It made me laugh. But I'm just
Yeah.
sitting there like, yo, this dude sounds insane. I could not believe that he was like so strident about this. Oh, yeah, he's like, you're gonna tell me you think that this guy, you want to throw him in jail now? Why'd they let him out so fast? If he did something
Yo,
so wrong, why'd the cops let him out so fast?
golf people trying to like let all of this let get him on to play and like excuse everything away is so tone deaf. And what it does, it highlights what they get mad about white privilege.
100%.
It
Thank
highlights
you.
that so much. It highlights white privilege so much. But it's the way it's done. It's like almost it's almost like a parody, and like they're so clueless that like this is what they're like excusing away. And some of
Oh,
these
it's
people are
amazing.
actually like and some of these people actually like, I don't want to say that they're like enemies of that sort of cause, but they don't understand it. That's the problem with it, with the whole situation, is that they don't understand it.
100%.
It's
100%.
like, yeah, this cop, this cop was acting like that, and it was probably wasn't his fault, stuff like that. So you don't think that this ever happens to anybody else?
I mean, the exactly, and the giving, like, it's amazing to me how in almost I cannot think of another circumstance where there've been grainy, kind of murky details, and the benefit of the doubt was not given to the cop. The cop always gets the benefit of the doubt until the person he's getting the benefit of the doubt against is a white guy golfer. All of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden now the cops don't get the
Hey,
benefit of
we
the
gotta
doubt.
see if the whole story comes out.
Yeah, the police report suddenly becomes meaningless.
Yeah,
Like the police report is always a statement of fact. It's always taken at 100% guaranteed face value, no
mm.
questions asked. Until, oh, wait a minute, it's Scotty Scheffler. No, well, the police report.
he
I'm
what
like, yo,
he wasn't
crazy.
wearing a body he wasn't wearing a body cam. Oh, see, you see, there was those hectic situations that it was probably he was acting crazy. That's probably why it wasn't on.
Yo, it was
And
wild. This one guy called in and he was like, yeah, I mean, he's like this. The one guy who called in and agreed with Russo, he was like, yo, I mean, this cop was so out of line. I mean, could you imagine if he would have fired the gun and somebody would have got killed? And like, I'm like,
yeah,
yo, what gun? There
it's
was
called it, but it's called every incident and where a person of color is Scotty
exactly.
Scheffler.
Yes, exactly. But
So
now it's all
crazy.
of a sudden, what if he would have fired the gun?
Wait and see.
Yeah. I
This
can't
is
wait
this
to
goes
hear
this
this
goes back
guy's
to the
take
same.
on it.
Oh,
Because it happened Friday morning, right? So I don't think
mhm.
that David Sampson has gotten to weigh in.
No, because no, he did weigh in, but it was just like more of a wait and see tone.
Yeah.
Um, it that goes back to the same joke that I used the other day, where it's like, just imagine he was black,
Yeah, the
like
the the
the
time to
time
kill
to kill.
joint. Yeah.
Yeah, shit is crazy. All right, but let me let you go. Let's see if we can get some energy up in here,
All right,
and
brother. Yeah, let's
see if
try to shake it up. I feel like I got to walk around or something.
yeah. All right,
Superstitions.
my brother.
All
Yeah,
right, brother. Enjoy the
one.
Sunday.
All right, my brother. You too.
All right, here we go. Halftime. You know what? Let's take a little break from the stream. We'll come back either second half or maybe post game.